Hello, welcome to Tapping Into Your Power. I'm Deborah Demander, and we all have some kind of work we do, whether we are actually gainfully employed or even if we're retired, we still find things to do during the week or during the day, and that becomes our work, whether it's watching our grandchildren or helping the neighbors or just puttering around the house. We all have some kind of work that we do. Rarely do we just sit and do nothing. And sometimes at the beginning of the week, we can have a feeling. We can feel a certain way about our work. We can feel a certain way about how we're spending our time. So today we are going to tap into a motivational week, having a better week, feeling better about the work we do. Let's get started. So we're going to take full responsibility for our own health, our own emotions, and our own well-being. I have work to do this week. I have work to do today. And I love myself. I accept myself. And I appreciate myself exactly the way I am. I have all this work to do this week. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. Looking at all this work I have to do this week, I wonder how I'm going to get it all done. And I love myself and accept myself and respect myself exactly the way I am. Looking at all this work I have to do this week feels overwhelming. The work I have isn't always satisfying. I look at the work I have and I wish I could just have the rest of the day off. Even if I had every day off, I'd still find things to keep me busy. Even if I'm retired, I still have work to do in my life. Everyone has to do something in life, and I can appreciate the work that I have to do. All of this work feels so heavy. The week looks like it's going to drag on ahead of me. All of this work piling up in front of me. I don't know how I'm going to get it all done. I've chosen the work that I'm doing, and I could always choose to do something else. And I love myself and appreciate myself exactly the way I am. I might have started this work that I'm doing because someone told me I should do it, or because it's what my parents or my grandparents did or thought I should do. And so maybe I don't resonate with the work that I'm doing. And I love myself and appreciate myself exactly the way I am. This work I do may or may not be fulfilling to my soul, and it helps pay the bills. I love myself and I accept myself exactly the way I am. I can find fulfillment and peace in the work I do. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. I can feel better about going to work when I recognize that it's my contribution to the world around me. My job also gives back to me. There are people that I meet. There's money that I get. It's an exchange of energy. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. I can find other work to do that feels more satisfying if I want. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. There's no reason that I have to be miserable at work because I'm in charge of how I feel. My job doesn't control my emotions. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I feel. I can choose a high vibration in spite of what's happening around me. I can choose to stay positive even if the people around me are negative or even if my boss is unkind. I can still choose a positive attitude. I am always in charge of how I feel. And today I choose to feel excited about the work I do. I choose to appreciate the fact that I have something to do today. I appreciate that this work provides me something to do, whether it's meaningful for my soul or not, and it provides me resources that I can then use to live my life. I can also find something different to do if I choose. And right now, I'm choosing to stay right here and enjoy the work that I'm doing. I choose to love myself and accept myself, even if the work I'm doing isn't a true reflection of who I am. My work doesn't have to be the sole definition of who I am. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. Who I am is so much bigger than a job or a job title. Who I am is infinite energy. Who I am is a soul having a human experience. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. When I choose to look at my work and the people around me from a positive place, then everything just feels better. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. I can choose to feel good about what I'm doing today. And I love myself and I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. I have choices about where to spend my time, and I'm choosing to spend my time doing this. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. My energy and my attitude impact everyone around me. So today I choose to show up in the best way that I know how, because I love myself and I accept myself exactly the way I am. When I show up as the best version of myself, then things start to flow even better for me. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. The more I show up in a positive way, the more I vibrate from a higher energy, from a higher frequency, the better my day goes, and the more I like my work, the more I like what I'm doing, the more I like how I'm spending my time. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. I choose to show up as the best version of myself. And I love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. When I choose to show up in my life with a high frequency and a positive attitude, then everything flows so much better. I love myself and I accept myself, and I forgive all of those who aren't the same frequency that I am, because not everyone understands, but I can choose to love them anyway. And I can choose to love myself and accept myself exactly the way I am. Now let's take a deep breath. How's that feel? I hope that after today's tapping, you feel more inspired, more energized, and more joyful about the work you choose to do. Remember, friends, you always have a choice, and when we tap into our choices, it makes everything flow better. Thank you for being here today. I am so happy that you're here, and remember, your best life is just a tap away. Bye.